your daily dose of LoweTivation. This is episode 242. I want to talk about something that I was talking to a friend about today. I went to the dog park, took Roxanne. If you don't know, that's my buddy slash roommate's dog. And I took her to the dog park. It smelled like wet dog and wet piss and dog shit. Really strong because it just rained earlier. And then I went there and it was fresh doo-doo and pee-pee for sure. But I took that opportunity to talk on the phone with a friend of mine, Stephanie. Thanks for the conversation, good times. A lot of the stuff I talk about on my videos are things that I think of during my day psychologically that I can share with you guys on this mental health journey. And while her and I were talking, we ended up talking about lashing out, which is a really big thing anybody can do. You don't have to have big mental health issues to lash out on somebody. I think it's a normal human reaction, and you see it in different degrees. For me, having mental health issues, a lot of anger problems, depression, anxiety, I feel like all those things have mixed into a supercharged lashing out type of thing that I've used. And I don't know, that's part of the whole getting overwhelmed by all the stresses in life and then already having all these different mental health issues that you're not working on. So when the stresses come on, you know, somebody who is a little bit better off with their mental health, that has a better foundation, as I'm finding out with newer stresses, you can handle these things a little bit better. I feel like you can stop yourself before maybe you might lash out on somebody, or you might do something that you're gonna regret and add on to the pile of shit that's already happening. I can tell the difference between that because I'm working on things now, and I feel like I have more of a foundation and I can stand up against some of the stresses that are coming my way. But also, on top of that, I know what it's like to not have that foundation, already be down on yourself, not want to live anymore, just have all these different issues going on, and then have the stresses of life coming at you, just being the cherry on top of the shit that you already have going on. It's very easy to watch yourself crumble and fall apart, and I think part of that falling apart is the lashing out. Now, specifically on lashing out, I think for me, the way I used it, I was always really down on myself and always hating myself and holding all that stuff in and not telling people. So the people I would lash out on, they would be a little confused because they didn't know how bad I had it going on inside of my head because I wasn't telling anybody. So when I would lash out, I feel like it would sting a lot harder than if they would know what's going on. Now, I've been in relationships, friendships, and whatever else where I have explained it, and I'm gonna say on the end of whoever's dealing with the lashing, if you don't understand why someone's lashing out on you, they're doing crazy shit, saying really hurtful stuff, you might want to look at that. I mean, some people are just assholes. Some people just want to hurt others. Some people are just evil, unfortunately. But I think a lot of people are good, and a lot of good people can lash out. And I know that because I've done it, and I've always regretted it afterwards. I've always hated myself more, and it's just a cycle of shit. And I think if you're somebody who's a good person and you always want to make people happy, and then you do lash out on people, it can confuse them if they don't know what's going on with you. So it's kind of a two-way street. I think if you love somebody and they lash out on you every once in a while, but you know they're working on their mental health, I think, you know, you're going to want to support them, and you're going to want to try to remind yourself when they're doing that and they're saying those crazy things, you know they don't mean it, and they're working on things, and hopefully they're going to change it. Now, I've been in that situation where I've been in a relationship or friendships, and I tell them, you know, this is why I'm doing this. So the two-way street, it goes the same way for the person who's lashing out. It's hard to deal with your mental health issues, but if you're always lashing out on people, which I have done in my past, and you're not willing to look at what you have going on that's causing it to happen, you are going to lose friends, you are going to lose relationships, people are going to give up, unfortunately, and some of those people you might want in your life, and they might be good people, they just don't understand what's happening. They might have their own stuff going on as well that doesn't line up with what's wrong with you, and so they don't understand, and it's just too much to handle. And I've been there, and I understand it on that end. So, like I said, it's a two-way street. Hopefully whoever you have lashed out on or who you will lash out on understands what you're going through, and you're explaining your mental health issues. And that, for me personally, when I was lashing out, my reasons were I was very angry, I was very confused, I was really, really down on myself. So when I lashed out on people, it was in the middle of all of that. And I think what it was is I hated myself so much, I was like, oh, I love you, or I care about you as a friend, whoever it was. I would say the most messed up things, and if you're close to somebody, you probably know what triggers them or what makes them, what would hurt them the most, unfortunately. And so that might come out during your lashing, because obviously a lot of people are going to end up in a fight probably if you are lashing out, and then it's going to blow up way worse than it should have. So I know that when I did that in the past, it was because I let my anger consume me, and I was just confused, so angry, never venting, never getting it out. So when it finally did come out, it would come out in the form of lashing out on the people that I love, which is unfair and definitely not an excuse, and not me saying that it's okay that it happened. But if you are somebody that's doing that and you know that you do it and you wish that you would stop, I'm telling you right now, looking inward, going on that mental health journey, working on your issues, it only makes sense that it's gonna take a little bit of that pressure off. It's gonna make you not act as quickly to lash out. Because I still notice when I'm trying to do it, or when I'm gonna do it out of habit, because I've been doing it since I was a child. So I see it now before it happens, and I'm able to stop it. I'm able to look at what brought me to that point and work on whatever those things are that I know will lead me to lashing out. So that's it. Just wanted to point that out. Talking to my friend today, I was like, oh shit, this is a good conversation, and I want to share with other people, because I know I'm not the only one who has lashed out, who will probably lash out again. And the best thing to do is after you do it, because I know when I've done it in the past, I beat myself up more, I do even more hurtful things, and it just keeps snowballing into something way worse than it needs to be. So like I said, working on things, looking and analyzing and seeing what leads you to these things that you don't like to do can help you and prevent you from continuing a horrible habit. So just look inward is all I'm saying, and you might lash out a little less. And hopefully the people around you will support you through your journey of working on whatever you have going on, and the lashing will be a lot less frequent, to the point where you're a lot happier and you have better relationships with the people you love. Because I know I'm starting to see that now that I'm not as angry as I used to be, and I'm not lashing out and taking my problems out on other people, including myself. So anyway, whatever you're going through, whatever you're up to, I'm right here trying my best not to lash out, and hopefully you're trying your best too. Much love.